Welcome back, Fanatic Addicts, to another high-octane episode of the Fan and Fanatic PepRally. So, without further ado, let's get into the first segment, Inside the Mind of the Fanatic. Partner, take it away.
Okay. Yes, sir. We may notice a little difference in the background here. I'm on the road right now, so we're recording this actually in different rooms when normally we record
The Big
together.
Apple!
Yes, right. NYC, baby.
NYC!
So let's...
Home of the Jets, who, might I add, lost their franchise quarterback. And to
Still won the football game, though.
And to think that they put what they thought was their franchise quarterback or over their franchise quarterback in the depth chart. Anyway, back to you. Sorry, New York.
No, all good. All right, so first search. We ready for this?
Oh, biscuits.
And again, I'm just going to read what it says. Charlie
right.
Patino. That's Charlie
the same thing
Patino,
again.
Patino.
The same thing again, honestly.
What do you mean?
If you remember a couple pep rallies ago, I had the same exact thing.
Charlie Patino?
So that was the same exact search. I don't know why I have the need every time I hear the name to because it was the chant, the boys in Tangerine. He's Charlie Patino.
I don't remember that
at all. And I think the boys in Tangerine is Blackpool FC. No, Swansea. Either Swansea or Blackpool. Producer?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think you're right, because as in my research, he's an English footballer who plays midfield for the EFL Championship club, Swansea City.
No, I think Blackpool was the Tangerines.
Oh, well, he currently plays for Swansea City.
Here's what I want you to do. So, go to Wikipedia, pull up Blackpool FC, and scroll down to where it says kits. Sorry.
Blackpool?
Yes, Blackpool.
Scroll down to where it says kits.
Okay. Yeah, it should be on the little sidebar there. Like on the right side, on the right-hand side of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think?
I don't see, yeah, okay. Yeah, they call them the Tangerines.
Anyways.
Or the Seasiders.
Next search.
All right, so that was fun. All right, again, as searched for, I'm going to spell this, or at least one of these before you answer. So we have Taipei Fubon, Fubon, Braves. Tell us about the Taipei Fubon Braves.
So, a few years ago, I asked Siri final score of the Braves game, and he said the Fubon Braves, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what? So I think at the time they were playing in the Super Basketball League, and I think now, okay, so they play in, Taipei, Taiwan or something, I don't know. But now they're not, I think they're in another league, the Taipei Super League or whatever.
It's the East Asia Super League. Or the P League Plus.
Basketball.
Yeah, so but I couldn't tell. Is it a men's or a women's basketball league?
Men's.
Okay. All right. So you are asking for the Atlanta Braves score, and you got the Taipei Fubon Braves. I find it very interesting that the artificial intelligence would get that one wrong. Confuse those two.
Keep in mind, this was a couple years ago, so I don't know how in the world it just ran. I don't know. So I think I was just trying to figure out what the heck.
Regardless, now everyone knows that there is a Braves team abroad that plays basketball. Okay, and then the last one.
Shout out to all my Fubonian friends.
Shout out.
I actually don't know anyone from
all of our
Fubon,
listeners in Taipei.
Whatever.
Okay.
Taipei, yes.
This is timely, as this is coming up here pretty soon, and I'm gonna ask it exactly the way you typed it. Auburn football series history versus Samford. Tell us why, and then tell me if you found the answer, because I looked this up and I think it's actually pretty fascinating.
So a few minutes ago, actually, I was watching the highlights for Auburn versus Samford 2019, but I thought they played in 2018, but I stand corrected. So 2019 was the most recent time that they're going to be playing that they played Samford, and it just so happens that they're playing this weekend.
Correctamundo. Did you get the history, though?
Yes. Actually, Auburn's never lost to Samford, but they did tie once, which was back
Nice.
in like
Good. I was going to
19,
press
I
you
don't
on
know.
that one. I was going to press you on that one. That is correct. With, as you said, they've never lost. 28 wins, 1 tie. And these were pretty fascinating. So the first time they played, do you remember when that was?
Like
Take a guess.
1916? 1916.
1903. 1903.
Oh, biscuits.
1903. And Auburn won that game 58-0. But that was
Sheesh.
not the largest margin of victory. Do you remember the largest margin of victory?
66-0.
88-0. Can you
Ay,
guess
ay,
the
ay.
year?
1970.
No. 1920. Smallest margin of victory.
6-0.
7-6 in
Oh,
1925. How do you like that one? Pretty good, huh? I thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool history. All right.
yep.
So we move into the next part here, huh?
Yep. Next segment. This week in sports history. You go first again, partner.
Okay. So because this is, we just had the beginning of football season, with NFL coming back, our Falcons did win. So I found an interesting fact about the Atlanta Falcons. And it's an ironic fact given some more recent history of the Falcons giving up a lot of points. But this week in sports history, back in 1981, the Atlanta Falcons, they were trailing the Green Bay Packers 17-0 with only 13
Whoa.
minutes left in the game. Okay, so they're down 17-0 with 13 minutes left. They go on from that point to score 31 points. That's 31 points in 13 minutes and end
Oh,
up winning the
brother.
game 31-17. Kind of the opposite of the Super Bowl that we won't talk about. So those touchdowns, they scored a touchdown on punt return, 2 passes,
Yep.
and an interception return and a fumble return. Like, come on. That is amazing.
Okay.
So that was 1981. Big comeback for the Falcons.
As for my fact, 2004. So this week, back in 2004, the Detroit Lions beat the Chicago Bears 20-16 at Soldier Field to snap NFL record 24-game road losing streak.
So the Lions at the time had lost 24 straight home games and snapped it by beating the Bears.
Road
Games,
wins.
sorry. Road games.
Wait.
And so they snapped it
And
by
then
beating the Bears.
here's a bonus fact.
Mm-hmm.
On Saturday, September the 9th, I attended my first Georgia Tech game in 8 years. And the last Tech game I went to
That's all we need to know about that.
was the
That's
2015
all we need
Tech
to know.
game.
We
If
don't
y'all
need to know
Tech
when you were
FSU
there
game,
last
if y'all were
time.
wondering.
No
No
one
hate
was
to the
wondering.
FSU fans, but that was when Lance Austin returned that blocked field goal attempt. Sorry, Tech. The game was fine, except for one minor detail. I was planning on going to the State versus Connecticut game, Georgia State Connecticut game afterwards, because the Georgia Tech game was supposed to start at 1. But of course, college football has this really dumb rule where like they have to suspend activity if there's, quote, lightning within 8 miles of the stadium. So the game didn't kick off till 2:30. So I missed out on
So you're
going
more
to
of
the
a
Georgia
fan of
State
putting the
game.
players in danger of being electrocuted by lightning.
Well, okay, but here's my point. That's why all
And all the
stadiums need
fans
to
sitting
be.
on metal bleachers.
That's why number 1, all stadium seats should actually be seats, not just bleachers and whatever. And number 2, all stadiums should be enclosed.
Ooh.
Or have a retractable roof, depending on the weather.
Gonna disagree on that. Anyway,
Or a dome.
I think what's also interesting about your little fact about you going to the Georgia Tech South Carolina State game and it being delayed multiple
and
hours
the worst part about that game
well,
was
hold on.
the fact that
Don't interrupt me.
Bro,
don't interrupt me.
Like,
I'm telling the story. Come on, man.
All right,
I'm not one of your
continue.
interviewees. You can't just interrupt me.
Hey.
You
do that to me all the time on the podcast.
1 year ago, we were in Tallahassee for the Florida State Duquesne game.
Don't remind me.
And we had another multi-hour. No, we haven't. We had a
Yes, if I
multi-hour
remember
delay.
correctly, I told this story on the first ever interview, didn't I, producer?
But not
Yes, I.
connecting it to the fact that you are the bad luck charm for rain delays.
But
Go on.
anyways, the other thing was the fact that I when I first wanted to going into this game, I saw that 95% of the tickets were already sold out, and I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking that's probably because of the halftime show, because South Carolina State's an HBCU, and little known fact, HBCU bands are better than. Is that we got a question? The two
That's
types of
not a little known
institutions
fact.
predominantly white in HBCU, right?
And
Is that right?
predominantly black.
There's
We have PBIs
HBCUs,
as
and
well.
then the other universities are predominantly white, right?
We
Right,
call
white.
those PWIs, but we also have PBIs, which are predominantly black institutions, which Georgia State is one of those.
Oh, so anyways, little known fact, HBCU
It's not a little known
bands
fact that HBCU bands are better. That is a well-known fact.
Actual fact, HBCU bands are better than other anyway. Okay, sorry. Point of fact is,
You were expecting to see a good halftime show.
I made an excellent point that everyone bought tickets. That I guarantee, I said to someone, I guarantee you that everyone who bought a ticket to this game didn't buy a ticket for the game, but bought a ticket for the halftime show.
But
the problem was South Carolina State didn't even bring their band.
sometimes it's expensive to do that.
Wait, Dad, is it commitment if you still stay at your game even though after a 2.5 hour rain delay?
That is commitment.
Because everyone who was at the game before said rain delay happened, they all left even before the game actually legit started. What a bunch of wimps, am I right?
You probably had some tests to study for, so it's hard to blame them.
Or in the case of a frat boy, some frat parties.
Careful.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to say. I'm not trying to be stereotypical towards frat boys.
Fair enough.
All right. Anyways, next segment coming up this week on the show. We'll be talking to a near and dear friend of mine and who happens to be a high school friend of my grandfather's, who was the athletic trainer at said high school, and then went to be the athletic trainer at Mississippi State University, Mr. Strat Keratosis. So, tune in on Tuesday to see how that goes. For my broadcast partner, Ryan Gerlecki, this is Parker Gerlecki saying, you've been listening to the Fender Fanatic Pep Rally. Bye!
Peace from the Big Apple.